welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unravel a mystery that bridges continents, spans centuries, and ties together some of the most profound spiritual traditions in human history. We're looking at a deeply hidden architecture, a cosmic framework that tries to explain the literal fabric of existence. It's an amazing journey, and it's going to take us right into the minds of ancient mystics to uncover this singular, breathtaking vision of how the universe was actually built. So think about this for a second. Did ancient Jewish, Islamic, and Zoroastrian mystics all somehow discover the exact same hidden blueprint of the universe? I mean, it sounds almost impossible, doesn't it? These are completely distinct traditions. They're separated by language, by culture, by theology, and yet as we go through the source text today, you're going to see how they surprisingly, undeniably align on this one cosmic secret. And the best part? It's not just some abstract theory. As you'll see by the end of our time together, this blueprint holds a radical ethical conclusion that, if we actually embraced it, could literally turn our present world into paradise. Section 1. The Cosmic Blueprint. 3 stages of creation. Okay, let's dive right into this. We're starting off by looking at a shared theological structure that you find in both Jewish Kabbalah and the Islamic mysticism of the great philosopher Ibn Arabi. To understand existence, they believe that creation didn't just, happen all at once in a flash. It actually unfolded in 3 distinct stages. So we go from the ultimate essence of unity, down into a realm of divine knowledge, where things take shape as fixed archetypes, and then finally, down into the material manifestation of creatures. It's a beautifully structured cascade, flowing from the completely invisible to the fully visible. In this framework, every single creature you see around you is fundamentally just a physical symbol, a material shape representing divine names and attributes. Section 2. The Seed and the Tree, Nature's Master Metaphor. Now, I know these are incredibly dense, heavy philosophical concepts. So to really help us grasp this journey from invisible essence to physical matter, the mystics relied on this brilliant, universally understood natural metaphor, the growth of a tree. Think about the very first unmanifested stage. Everything exists as pure, concentrated potential. It's like a tiny acorn. You look at it and you obviously can't see the massive oak tree, but literally every single capacity of that gigantic plant is completely hidden within it. In the exact same way, the mystics teach that all divine attributes and names originally exist purely and imperceptibly within the essence of unity. It's totally perfect, but it is entirely hidden from view. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this critical mystical term, fixed archetypes, or in Arabic, thabita. This is stage 2. This is the moment that raw, hidden potential actually begins to organize. The divine attributes and names take on a structured form, but, and this is super important, only within God's knowledge. They are not physical yet. It is exactly comparable to the specific blueprint of the roots, the stems, the leaves, and the fruit developing and differentiating from that original seed. The plan is set, right? The structure is fully designed, but it just hasn't broken through the soil of reality yet. And then, finally, we reach stage 3, the material form. The metaphor reaches its climax as the tree finally blooms into physical reality. Those fixed archetypes, those divine blueprints, finally manifest as physical, breathing creatures. What this means is that every single creature you interact with is actually acting as a physical form of a specific divine name or attribute. This is the absolute core idea behind the concept of the unity of existence. Everything physical is just a material manifestation of the divine. Let's move to section 3, the Zoroastrian parallel, a 12,000-year cosmic cycle. Let's see how this builds, because this exact same architectural blueprint actually shows up in a fascinating ancient cross-cultural parallel found in Zoroastrianism. And keep in mind, this predates many of these later mystical traditions. Their belief system features this massive, awe-inspiring 12,000-year cosmic timeline that spans from the very beginning of creation all the way to the end of the world. But I want to draw your attention specifically to the critical transition that happens over the first 6,000 years, because this is where the magic happens and where the parallels become just absolutely undeniable. So, for the first 3,000 years, the universe exists in a state called Menog. Menog represents an unseen, imperceptible, and totally unmanifested world. It's creation, sure, but it is completely formless and invisible. Sound familiar? It is exactly like the hidden potential of that seed we just talked about. But then comes this profound shift. During the second 3,000 years, the supreme deity, Ahura Mazda, creates Getig. Getig is the material, visible, and perceptible form of existence. This is the moment creation actually becomes physical. It takes shape. The completely formless suddenly becomes formed. And this brilliantly illustrates the point when we compare them side by side. Look at this. On one hand, you have Ibn Arabi's concept, where unseen divine knowledge, the fixed archetypes, takes shape into material forms. And then on the other, in the ancient Zoroastrian belief, the unseen, formless Menog becomes the visible physical Getig. It is the exact same underlying logic of how reality is generated. The language is different, the centuries are different, but the blueprint of the universe, it's identical. Section 4. Destiny and determinism. The illusion of choice. Now, understanding how the universe is built isn't just a fun exercise in ancient philosophy. We really need to pivot to the massive, real-world implications of this cosmic architecture. Because, think about it, if this structure is true, it changes everything about how we understand our own existence. I want you to really sit with this question for a second. If everything in the material world is literally just a physical projection of a pre-existing divine blueprint, do we actually have free will? If your life is just stage 3 of a process that was fully designed back in stage 2, who is actually making the choices here? Well, the mystics do not sugarcoat the answer. Within this specific framework, free will is completely negated. The entire concept of personal choice is an illusion. Why? Because every single physical thing, every action, every event that happens in the material world was already completely determined and specified in the realm of God's knowledge. The blueprint was already drawn. We are simply the building being constructed to match it. And this extreme determinism leads to a really fascinating mystical concept regarding prophecy. The mystics argue that if someone manages to achieve the status of a perfect human, they gain an incredible power, because this person can elevate their consciousness to actually view that realm of divine knowledge. They can look directly at the fixed archetypes, so they understand exactly what is going to happen. They gain the ability to foresee the destiny of all beings simply because they've been granted access to read the predetermined blueprints of the universe before they become material reality. Pretty wild, right? Which brings us to Section 5, Creating Heaven on Earth, the ultimate ethical conclusion. So, the crucial point is, where does all this leave us? A universe built on rigid blueprints, totally devoid of free will, sounds a little cold, doesn't it? But the mystics take this intense cosmic determinism and they flip it. They turn it into the most profound, deeply personal, and beautiful ethical takeaway imaginable. According to this philosophy, humanity holds a highly specific place in the architecture. We humans contain all the divine names and attributes. We act as the ultimate material form of the divine in this world. Furthermore, like we established earlier, every single creature you encounter is a physical manifestation of a divine attribute. So this overarching cosmic determinism doesn't diminish us at all. It actually elevates human beings and every single living creature to an incredibly sacred status. Because everything is a direct physical projection of the divine, the ethics become blindingly clear. As the mystics concluded, harming any being, and especially harming any human, is harming God. There is literally no separation. To strike out at another person or another creature is to strike directly at the physical manifestation of the divine blueprint itself. And this brings us to the source material's boldest, most radical claim. The mystics assert that if humanity threw away all other beliefs, if we just completely discarded every other dogma and embraced only this one truth, heck, even if we just treated it as a working theory, we wouldn't need to wait around for the promise of heaven in some afterlife. By recognizing the divine in every single being, this world, right here, right now, would immediately become heaven. Which leaves us with a final question to consider. We've traced the architecture of existence from ancient seeds to the Zoroastrian Menog, all the way down to our physical reality. We've seen the hidden blueprints. But if simply treating every living creature as a direct reflection of the divine has the power to instantly transform this world into paradise, how will that change the way you walk through the world today? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this incredible cosmic perspective stays with you long after the screen goes dark.